Welcome back to the Webby O'Neill channel, Premier League review. Plus, we're also going to talk about the weekend's action in the FA Cup semi-finals later on in the video, so stay tuned for that one. I think we're going to start off with the Friday night football, Arsenal versus Southampton, and it started going wrong within 20, 30 seconds for Arsenal.
Yeah, nerves clearly came into it there. Ramsdale, not like him, absolutely. Went to pot, give him the ball, and they scored. From that moment onwards, I thought Southampton took it to Arsenal. Bottom of the league, fighting for their lives, pressed Arsenal up front, kept Martinelli and kept Saka reasonably quiet in that first half, and I thought they did excellent. Devoid of ideas, Arsenal. Partey wasn't on good form. They didn't seem to have any rhythm in that first half. Come the second half, Southampton, to me, played an excellent game defensive. Scored 3 goals at Arsenal. Absolutely fighting for their lives. Arsenal conceding goals. You don't win the league like that. And that's what they've been doing. I thought in the last 15 minutes, that's when Arsenal came alive. Had to come alive. They were fighting for their lives. They were dead and buried. But for Arsenal, bad run. 3 games now. Draws. Just not doing it at all. Seems to me as though they're running on empty legs here. And I think they could fail. I think they could fail dramatically.
Yeah, but they're still top of the league. They've still got big games to still play against Manchester City and Newcastle. And a lot of Arsenal fans I'm listening to over the weekend and today on Monday, they're all dead downbeat. But you're still top of the league, surely. You've still got to be positive going into these big games as a fan.
Yeah, as a fan, yeah. You hope to be positive, but you have to look at the last 2 results. Being 2-0 up at West Ham, away from home, in such a short space of time, that kills your confidence, kills the players' confidence. They actually just collapsed after that, and it was West Ham's best game, I thought. They came at them, but this here, at home, against the bottom of the league, the crowd was absolutely electric at the start of that game and before, but they didn't react. I just thought they would. I thought they were going to win it easily, and that is a bad sign, especially when you look at the Liverpool game, how they collapsed under that, how they collapsed under the West Ham. Very, very poor attitude, I thought, and it was just a mismatch of players. And like I say, Partey, he's the man what drives that team, and he wasn't driving him. And I have to give great credit to Southampton, how they fought right through the game. And to be honest, could Arsenal have won it at the death after fighting back?
Yes. Trossard hit the bar near the end as well, didn't they?
Yeah, it looked as though they were going to get the great escape. They didn't get it. But is that a team what's going to win the league? Well, I can't see that. I think they're down. I think they're gutted. I don't think they'll recover from it and go into City. I just can't see anything happening for them. I think that's over. That's shown you they were running on empty for long periods of that game. Very, very poor by a team what thinks they're going to win the league.
I think some of their big players as well have, like, all of a sudden, last 2 or 3 games, seem to have lost a little bit of form as well. You look at Zinchenko, in that, was it the first half where he got them all in a huddle, having a bit of a team talk, and that's something we don't normally see as well, do we?
No, you don't normally see that, but at the end of the day, when he got in the huddle, I think the players should have got hold of Zinchenko and said, "Where was you at the back? Why was you sleeping?" Yeah. So it's a weird one with Arsenal. Been playing great all season, and now to me, I think they're just running on empty. Saka isn't doing it. That's how I see it, and he's been playing great all season. So to me, I think they're not going to do it now. They are going to struggle and struggle badly. Yes, Arsenal fans have got hope, but I don't think it'll happen.
I think he has been playing great, Saka, and he did score the equaliser to make it 3-3. But at the same time, you're going to need these big players when they're going up against Manchester City and Newcastle away to step up and put in the performances. And it's going to take a great team effort for him to get the 3 points away to City. But if you was an Arsenal fan, you should still be positive in my eyes. You should still be up for it because anything can happen. This is the Premier League. They've been leading at the top of the Premier League for a long, long time now.
Yeah.
So to come away from that and be downbeat, I think it's ridiculous, really. As a fan, do you know what I mean? You should be up for every single game you're going into. They've had some poor results, a little bit of a wobble.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they can't bounce back against a big team.
You look at the crowd, 3-1 down, they were dead. They were dead. They were on the knees. They were gobsmacked. They were finished. They were walking out. They'd given up. The league had gone. As far as that crowd in that ground was concerned, it was over.
What did you think of the drum?
The drum, with the fans.
What do you think of that drum? Would you like to be near that, sat next to that drum?
Well, I tell you what.
Because I tell you what, that drum would get slung if I was sat next to that.
We was watching the game, right? And it was 3-1, right? Oh, and the geezer with the drum behind the goal, to me, is a complete idiot, right? But I'm telling you now, if I'd have been near him, I'd have got that drum and smashed it over his head at 3-1 down. That's the way Arsenal fans were feeling. Angry, dejected, finished on the floor. But the man with the drum, I'd have just smashed him with the drum. I couldn't have coped. After watching football like I've been watching all season as an Arsenal fan, if you was an Arsenal fan, and then it's over. The drum would have been the last straw for me. He wouldn't have got out of that ground with it.
Yeah. I think he gave up for 20 minutes, didn't he? Until
they all give up.
Until then they got the second goal and then the drum was back out.
The drum was back out. Yeah. But the thing is, Arsenal fans, it's not me saying Arsenal won't win the league. Arsenal fans in that ground at 3-1 down gave up.
Do you think it was like a realisation of like, look, we're in big trouble?
The task is beyond them. And they could see in front of them the players were deteriorating. And you do expect the last 10 minutes, gung-ho, go at it. And Southampton succumbed to it in the end. But a fighting performance by Southampton.
Yeah. If they can still fight like that, though, for the remaining games, do you give them a chance of staying up? Or
no.
Do you think that's them done now?
No, I think
not enough games left.
Not enough games. And the task is beyond them, I think. You can't see a team bottom of the league at this time of the year getting out of it, no matter how hard they try.
Yeah, any Arsenal fans out there, get involved in the comments below. Let us know your thoughts and opinions on Friday night's game. Plus, going forward, do you think you can still win the league? Are you positive? Or are you downbeat now, knowing the task ahead? But yeah, moving on, I think another game near the top of the league, well, the top four, was Newcastle and Southampton. And what a massive win that was for Newcastle, but a total capitulation from Tottenham.
Well, 3-0 after 10 minutes and then 5-0 after 21 minutes. What a dominant first 20 minutes by Newcastle. They went straight at it, no hesitation. Absolutely played brilliant football. The passing was superb. There was some superb passing and goals created in that passage of play. But you have to look at Tottenham. Absolutely abysmal. They've gave up. The manager called it, said the players in there weren't good enough, not up for the fight. He went, and the man in charge now, I think it's Sablina or something.
I don't even think the players know his name, to be
honest.
I don't think they listen to him.
No, and that's the problem. He is from Conte's camp, so they're not listening to him. Tottenham have gave up the fight. They're not interested in the staff, what's there. They are Conte's staff. And you could clearly see there was no effort. Abysmal, shameful. At the end of the day, the minimum you require for someone who's being paid high money is to put in the effort. And it wasn't there. Absolute disgrace.
But could you look at it, though, from Newcastle's point of view, that they were literally on fire?
Yeah.
And, they could have... I know they were 5-0 up, was it, in the first 20-21 minutes. But, against any of the other teams, they were that much on fire. They could have put 3 or 4 against any of the other teams in the Premier League because of how good the football was.
No, that's right. And I did praise them, as you know. But the thing is, any other team, they could have done the same. That's how good the football was. A lot of pundits out there have actually just gone on about Tottenham, but Newcastle played superb superb. And to be honest with you, we just mentioned Arsenal. After the City game, Arsenal go to Newcastle. And I think that's one of the realisations as well for Arsenal. Going up there to Newcastle is very, very hard to get anything out of the game. But Tottenham gave up. Now, I listened to that Lloris, the goalkeeper, World Cup winner, after the game. Damning conversation, what he said after the game when he was interviewed. There was no fight. That's what he said. No fight. That's coming from the goalkeeper. So there must be absolute murders behind the scenes there. And to be honest with you, Tottenham are a disgrace. The way they've carried on that pitch when they were in a good position to fight for the top 4 place.
And the running of the club as well, though, for keeping that manager in there as the interim till the end of the season. For me, he should have gone with Conte as well.
They all know it's all gone pear-shaped. They all know it's a joke behind the scenes. The management, the upper tier management, the players on the pitch, all they just want their holidays. They want to be on the beach. They are not interested. And Lloris summed it up. There was no fight. For these players to have no fight when there's a top 4 position to be had, right, is an absolute disgrace. And if it was a Tottenham fan, I would be screaming blue murder. To be a Tottenham fan now, watching that week in, week out, right, I'd have mental issues, to be honest with you. Poor
you can't blame the Tottenham fans who left as well after 15, 20 minutes either to get the train back home to London.
No, but you've got to turn around and sort of say to yourself, those fans what did stay suffered badly, suffered mentally, suffered watching that utter garbage. Every one of them, everyone, from the goalkeeper to Harry Kane, absolutely atrocious.
I'm not too sure where they turn to as well in terms of a manager Tottenham. You know, you're looking at some of the big names out there. Does Tottenham attract him? I'm not too sure. Obviously, there's Pochettino being rumoured as well. Could he go back there? I'm not too sure about that second time coming back to a club. But, you know, you've got, like, emerging managers, so to speak, in company. Michael Carrick as well. Do you think that'd be a good suit for Tottenham? You know, ex-Tottenham player. Because should they be looking at a younger, upcoming manager than a more so-called experienced one?
Anybody
looking, they've gone for that, haven't they?
Anybody looking at that job, okay, no matter who you are, inexperienced or experienced, has to be wary and has to worry about how that club is being run. That's the problem.
Yeah.
How that club is being run. How them players are getting away with it and being backed by the upper tier management undermines the manager what's there. I don't mean this manager, I mean Conte and every other manager, Mourinho and all that, right? There is big issues behind there. So anybody coming in now, to be honest with you, would look at that, from my opinion, and not touch it with a barge pole, no matter what they were offered, because it never changes. The same story, the same type of football, the same giving up is there. No way would I touch it as a manager, no matter what you give me. And I think there'll be people out there now going, not a chance. And they're in they've got big problems now. I can't see him attracting a top manager. And if a top manager comes in, I think he'll have a nightmare. Nothing will change. Tottenham is Tottenham.
Going on to a positive.
Yeah, we love them positives.
Yeah. Don't look like Leeds are doing too great at the moment.
No, that's a great positive.
Yeah, got beat on the weekend by Fulham 2-1.
Yeah, we watched that, the early kick-off. And Leeds, to be honest with you, to me, they set up for a draw. They wanted a draw. They would have been happy to get a draw, but they were woeful. Woeful in attack, woeful in defence, woeful in midfield. The fans were absolutely stood there, devoid of any emotion. For most of that game. Fulham, happy where they are in the league, plodding on, running around, not taking it too serious. We'll get a goal here, we'll get a goal there. And in the end, they got the goals, wore Leeds down. Leeds were very, very poor, struggling there. And like I said last week, if the teams below weren't as bad, Leeds would be down.
Yeah.
They're devoid of ideas. The manager...
It's not really had an impact, has it, since
no
he's come in,
impact.
that sort of bounce to
No.
go and get 2 or 3 games on the road, winning streaks.
Yeah, no, the manager's had no impact. I don't think they're taking anything on board. He's not been able to G him up. So if you're as a Leeds fan, you'd fear for him. We don't fear for him as a Man United fan. We just hope it continues. But you're very, very lucky, because I do think you will escape relegation.
I want him to, though. The reason being, it's a good away day for Manchester United fans. You're always going to get the 3 points here at Old Trafford in the way they're playing.
Well, most of the time. We want
at least to stay in the Premier League and just continue to be crap.
Yeah,
each season after season and fight relegation.
Yeah, it's great to give him a kicking on the pitch, Leeds, to see him get
just
beat.
trying to get you at it here.
Yeah, I know, yeah. But no, Leeds are going to be very, very lucky. They're so poor, it's unreal. From where they were, if you look 2 years ago, how exciting, how everyone praised them for the football, their attacking style and scoring goals and everything, to where they are now. You're very, very lucky that the 3 teams below you, right, to me, are going to get relegated. They are poor teams below, 1 or 2 poor teams above them, but I think you'll escape it, and I'm gutted.
I think after the next 2 fixtures, as a Leeds fan, you'll know if you're in big trouble or not. They play Leicester, I think, on Tuesday night. Then it's Bournemouth, 2 teams who are scrapping around that relegation zone. So after them 2 games, whatever points they come out with, it's going to be a big reflection on where they're going to finish, to me, at the end of the season.
I think if you look at the games they've played, Leeds United, getting thrashed in 2 games, absolutely thrashed.
Crystal Palace.
And then, and just Crystal Palace and Liverpool, 6-1, 5-1, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the thing is, they were poor in both games. They were absolutely devoid of ideas against Fulham. So the next couple of games, I can't see them turning it round. Were they as poor as Tottenham? I don't think so. Tottenham were poor, like playing against Newcastle. But that's how it seemed to me. They got the Tottenham effect. They just can't seem to do it. Luckily, the teams below them will save them.
Yeah, don't look like there's much of a plan at Leeds when you're trying to watch the football. There's no style of play, really.
No.
It's just all a bit of individual players just trying to work something out between them.
Yeah.
But moving off from that, any Leeds fans who do watch us as well, get involved in the comments. Let us know how you think your season's going. And if you do think that you'll escape relegation, we'd like to know. So get it in the comments. Leicester, massive 3 points at home against Wolves.
Yeah, I said it last week. If any team was going to get out of it, it'd be Leicester, because of the forward line. They've got players what score goals. That's what's going to get anybody out, scoring goals. The other teams don't seem to be doing it. But I always thought Leicester were bringing back 1 or 2 injuries over the next couple of weeks with their attack, the way they do play. They don't just sit back when the players are there. They can score goals. To me, Leicester are going to get out of it, and a very, very good win against Wolves, who are a dogged side. And they did take it to Leicester, but Leicester raised the game. Every confidence, you could see it on the pitch, that they were going to win. And I thoroughly deserved the win, by the way. So I'm glad for them. Good football inside, some good players there. But Wolves, they're out of it now. They got out of it. They've nothing to worry about. And they're just looking for the end of the season now. So you can expect some dour games from them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, sticking on another team that's around that relegation zone. Nottingham Forest away to Liverpool. It was a game where, when the scores were flashing up and we heard that Forest had equalised at 1-1, and it was 2-1, then Forest equalised again at 2-2. You kept flicking the game back over just to watch it.
Yeah.
What did you make of that? Unlucky Nottingham Forest, or is it just the fact that they just simply can't defend?
I think what it was, I don't think Liverpool were playing at the speed, at the tempo. I thought again, they just looked as though they were going to win the game.
Yeah.
They come out thinking, right, it's Forest, we're going to win the game. And that's how it was. When they needed to score, Liverpool scored. Forest, I think, gave themselves some false hope. It's a poor side. But scoring 2 goals, hopefully that might give Forest some impetus, some belief that they can do it and that they can fight. So it did show a bit of fight, but I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Liverpool got the win. They needed the win. Possible outside chance of challenging for a top 4 spot, but they need to put a big run on. And I don't think they'll get that big run. Few home games, that's where they're hoping to pick up the points. And hopefully, from their point of view, Liverpool, they're wanting Man United to fail. But I think that cup semi-final at Wembley gave everyone the confidence and the boost after miserable. So I don't think United will fade. So Liverpool have got it all to do. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're a team in decline, a team in change. Everyone knows it. The manager, I listened to Klopp, his energy's gone.
I don't think, we've discussed this before, I think to say Jurgen Klopp will be at Liverpool at the end of next season, I think it'd be a big statement to say he's there, because like you're saying, his energy, the way he used to be in interviews, the way he is now on the sidelines when you see him, it's just like, don't look right, does it, compared to the Liverpool of old over the last recent years?
No, I think there's a lot going on in the background with the ownership.
Yeah.
Looking forward to next year, the budgets and everything else like that. And also the rise of 1 or 2 teams, what can actually challenge and overtake Liverpool, challenging for the league. I think Liverpool are in decline on that front, and it's going to be a hard task if they don't purchase players. And they've got City, they'll have Newcastle. If United get sold, then they'll have Man United challenging United. Up and down season with these top teams, we all know that. But the thing is, they're in a position to challenge, a proper position to challenge United.
Sticking at the foot of the table as well, you had Crystal Palace against Everton. That ended 0-0. Roy Hodgson's done a great bit of work since he's gone back in at Palace, getting them up the league. You know, I'm not too sure whether that was a good point or not for Everton, but I suppose 1 point's better than none.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to hang on, I think, as well. I didn't watch the full game, but they had a man sent off. Was it the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so?
Yeah.
You had Brentford against Villa as well, 1-1. But Villa's, top 4 hopes, does that sort of like knock them back a bit, that now? Because I thought they might be able to give a bit of a challenge over the last few weeks in the performances that I've seen.
Yeah, well, I'll start with Everton first. Can't score goals, got no strikers. That's their problem. I think he came back, Calvert-Lewin came back. He had 1 chance. If he's fit, they might have a chance, but it's a big might. Looking at Villa, yes, not winning has hampered him, but what will kill him is they play Man United on Sunday. So that's a big game for United and for Villa. But for Villa, they have to come to Old Trafford and win. That's how big that game is for them to have a possibility of challenging United for the top 4 spot.
Let's get away from the Premier League.
Yes. Our favourite subject now.
FA Cup.
Yeah.
Should we give a little bit on City and Sheffield United? I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch a lot of that game.
No, the only thing you can say is City are in the final, as expected. Walked through the game, easy, simple, no problems whatsoever. Yes, they're in the final. End of.
Manchester United versus Brighton. I've seen a lot out there, to be honest, which I'm a bit surprised that people concentrating more on the performance and so-called Man United fans saying, it was a terrible or it was a crap performance. And I'm thinking,
where'd you get that from?
Where'd you get that from? A win's a win in a semi-final to get to a final at Wembley. You should be upbeat, you should be positive. And I've just been took aback a little bit by certain people saying things like that.
Yeah. Foolish, because they're not looking at the big picture. They're not looking at Thursday night, how it was a terrible, terrible evening. Travelling back, the squad not really been able to get the tactics sorted out proper. Just didn't have the time. That was the worry. You look at all the injuries, what we've sustained, players out, players really starting the game with a few niggles. But it was a matter of having to. Now, I've looked at it. I've looked at what you've said there about people saying things, the media and pundits. I'm telling you now, nobody out there has given Manchester United the credit they deserve, right, facing a really good Brighton side without Martinez and Varane. Any other team loses two top centre-halves who have been fantastic all season, right, would have struggled against that Brighton side. But what Ten Hag did, he changed the tactics, especially from the Thursday night with the debacle with Maguire and De Gea's performance. He changed it completely, and the confidence was there. There was no messing about with De Gea. There was no messing about tapping it out, players wanting the ball. It was simple. Brighton press every team.
Yeah.
They press every team. Stop the press.
Yeah.
Just stop the press. Give yourselves an opportunity for a breather. Give you an opportunity to attack. Get the ball up there. Let's not mess about. And that's what happened. That's what happened with the fullbacks, with the two centre-halves. And that's what happened. The tactics changed.
Yeah, with it, you're saying the tactics changed. I've seen a lot been said as well, like his tactics in terms of his substitutions, that made Manchester United's performance even weaker. Whereas I didn't see that. I must have seen a totally different game to a lot of people out there, because I thought his substitutions, don't get me wrong,
worked.
I raised my eyebrow a little bit with Bruno, but was he carrying an injury? I'm not too sure. So that worked out right. And you've seen him from the sidelines, still being that leader, giving everyone a big G up. And I think they did work overall, them substitutions, and they were needed.
Them players, what came on, every one of them worked the socks off.
Yeah.
Worked the socks off. They knew what was at stake. They came on and they didn't let the team or the fans down. I thought they were excellent in the way they adapted to that game as soon as they came on, each individual. I thought it was an excellent performance by Ten Hag, using the substitutes at the right time. Yes, it looked with 15 minutes to go that we possibility extra time. Fantastic the way it was. But all the players what came on, I don't see any criticism of them. I think they played excellent. I thought Fred with his running, Weghorst with his running, Sancho with his little touches, keeping the ball, bringing other players into it. I thought it was excellent. The cameos they played. I thought United all-round performance was a solid, great performance against a good footballing side, and a lot of the times nullified them. And fair play to them players, recovering from a Thursday night debacle. Fair play to the manager in handling it and keeping the players' feet on the ground and reminding them this is Manchester United in a semi-final. We expect to win and go through. And that's exactly what happened. Great performance.
I would say maybe not on a negative, but something that might concern you or anyone out there is Christian Eriksen. His form over the last couple of games away to Sevilla and at Brighton couldn't really get into the game, I thought, at Brighton and, create things like we expect of him. Would you be a little bit concerned with that form from now until the end of the season, or do you think he'll start to pick up gradually? Because he has only come back from an injury recently.
Yeah, listen, Eriksen, it could be any other player. The amount of games United have played, it will have an effect on certain players and that. Yes, and it is. Eriksen doesn't seem to have that bright spark at the moment, right? But with a bit of luck, he'll get it back. Yeah. But players are expected fatigue. It's like, after a long season like it is and the amount of games they've played, yes, some players will feel as though they've got lead in the boots, and Eriksen seems to be one. Casemiro hasn't sparked. He's been dogged, but he's not sparked like he was early season. But that performance might bring the energy back. Yeah. Nothing better, right, to get rid of fatigue by winning in a spectacular way. Yeah. And United
Boost
did
to
that.
The mentality
everything changes. So that might bring the players back. But Eriksen, you are right. Not the spark he was, but it's to be expected. So anyone who's going out of form is to be expected. Look at Arsenal going out of form. Players are just not, the fatigue is setting in. But with Man United, they've got the spark, they've got the bounce, and they can push on against Tottenham and Villa this week, and it'll be an absolutely fantastic week.
Yeah, you don't get me wrong, Eriksen, he had a fantastic game against Nottingham Forest, but they were allowed all the time in the world, really, in that game to create things.
That midfield we was.
Yeah, in that midfield. But, someone who Manchester United we really do rely on, because we've noticed it when he's not been in the team, is Bruno Fernandes. He's a proper captain, he's a leader to me, and he gets unfairly criticised for all his arm waving going down. But it's just sometimes the dark arts I see that he plays. And he's also, he wants to win games and he puts everything in.
Yeah.
You might disagree with me because I'm seeing a little wry smile.
No, because
you're going to agree?
No, because I was looking at his performance on the pitch. Yeah, he has his moments and all that. That's Bruno, and it can get up some people's noses. But I looked at his performance and I thought it was a really great performance.
Involved in everything.
Yeah, he was involved. He wanted it. And not just that, it was his off-field antics as well. The way he got involved with the players, when he got brought off. Yeah, when he got brought off from a sub. I thought that was a proper captain's performance. And what it says to you is simple. Harry Maguire's performance summed up his whole season on Thursday night. Harry Maguire, as a captain, Bruno, shown you that's what you need to be a captain.
Totally agree.
That changed. Harry Maguire being out against Brighton changed the team, changed the mentality, changed the performance, and there was no jitters, no worry. So that is the big thing about that semi-final, how Bruno changed the team from Maguire being in the team.
Do you think that performance from Lindelof as well, do you think that puts him above Harry Maguire in that pecking order of centre-backs? Because, to be honest with you, I think even in Sevilla, I don't think Lindelof had a great performance or anything, but I don't think he done too much wrong, if you know what I mean.
Lindelof...
the performance of Luke Shaw, in a semi-final, massive game against Brighton, who are a good team, I thought it was a really, really good performance from both of them.
Luke Shaw played centre-half against Manchester City, and we beat him.
At Old Trafford, we did.
At Old Trafford.
He played with Varane.
With Haaland. And people forget that. People forget that. We have beat City.
Fred completely man-marked De Bruyne out the game for the first 60 minutes.
Yeah. So I've no worries. But with Lindelof plays on the right. But he gets mugged off, Lindelof, when Maguire plays, because then he has to go to the left, because Maguire can't do it on the left. It's trouble on the left.
Yeah.
So Lindelof is in his natural position on the right. But Shaw being there, no one should have any worries about Shaw. And everybody out there has forgot the performance he put in against City at Old Trafford. Played excellent. Man United beat City. And that's all you need to know. We are playing City at Wembley. And we've already beat them with that centre-half in place, Luke Shaw.
Yeah, hopefully the final, FA Cup finals on the 3rd of June. We will be going there. Hopefully there's a lot of yous out there who'll be going too. And hopefully we'll have some players back as well to boost that squad up and maybe give a bit of energy going into that game with your likes of Garnacho, especially on that left-hand side. Hopefully he can make that squad.
I think what it is, United have got to be on the run in here to claim a top 4 place, to have that bounce going into it. But going into a final against Manchester City, the first Manchester derby, I don't think they need any other incentive, Manchester United. We're not going to talk about City's treble and that, because there won't be a treble. It'll never happen. But I think United will go in underdogs, clearly, right? But I've seen United, 1977, underdogs to Liverpool, going for everything. I was there. It was fantastic. It was unreal. And every Liverpool fan remembers that cup final. They got beat. Well, the same will happen to every Manchester City fan. They will never forget Manchester United in the final beating them, because that's what's going to happen. Trust me.
I'm going to end on that, because I think some great wise words there. And it'd be a shame not to finish on that.
Yes.
Food for thought. Just like to thank everyone for joining us today, getting involved in the Premier League review, plus our FA Cup chat as well. Anything and everything we've discussed today, please get involved in the comments below. We'll have a look at your comments like we always do. Try getting involved back with you as well. Smash a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you've not already done so, if you enjoy our content.
I'm going to smash a like because I enjoyed it.
I
did.
I always
really
enjoy
enjoyed
doing
it.
it.
I really enjoyed it.
We do actually really enjoy doing what we're doing, and it's all because of yous out there who get involved in the videos as well. So if you can keep that up, absolutely brilliant, because we do enjoy it. But yeah, press that notification as well, because we will be back on Tuesday. I think with a preview going into the Spurs game.
Do that tomorrow.
Yeah, so join us there if you like, get involved in that one. And yeah, just like to say, enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you.
Thank you.